Hello, hello. Let me check in with the Absolute book, where we have sort of shifted over from the human side of paranoia and confusion to the fairy folk side, the Shay side, my side. I'm getting kisses from little Havanese right now. Um, where where they've gone through the gate and they've gone to the place where sort of basically the place where the Shay have brought the Taken. Um, this seems to be a thing where the Shay do indeed abduct or take people, but who the people they're taking are people who are going to be dead, damned, like slaves on the transatlantic slave thing, or soldiers marching into Verdun. Basically 99% fatality rates, probably for both groups. Um, and Also, uh, she meets a woman. Taryn meets a woman named Jane, who has ended up at this asylum after being a printer who kind of helped, um, was assisting, Shift in printing a book of stuff, um, and and she falls on hard times, and she ends up at this place for the poor and the destitute of women, which is fucking just brutal place where she's getting, ill-fed. People get beaten, not allowed to sit down, taken to a cold, unheated church to listen to sermons for God knows how long. Um, he takes her and all the women in the thing, and the women of, is it the Apple Island of Apple women and apples, something like that. And this is where she kind of learns more about Shift, and we get a story from a guy named who is Curran, who is a Welsh general to a king who got sent to a witch. Where at the very beginning of the story, apparently the witch says that the boy had died and was buried, which isn't the truth. Shift had turned into an animal and was right there in plain sight. Well, as plain as you can be when you've changed into an animal. And they're taking them back because they were planning on like sacrificing the boy because he is supposedly not born of not born the regular way, and it's like not born of woman or something like that. Was the story, and was the story, but they get caught by a fire and the thing, and the witch saves them all, bending the river around them, except for one guy who kind of goes crazy, goes through the water, gets spat up, out, and then bursts into flames, and instantly bursts into flames and die. Like they would have been so dead if this if the witch had not been there for them. Um, and they She insists on continuing on to the king, where everything is indeed in quite rubble, ruin. It says like, well, the problem is that there's a gate underneath the keep. That's why it keeps on falling down, and it's doing it because of shifting. And he says, and Karen says, and that's where I left them. The next day, the whole castle collapsed in because the gate, I guess, opened and sucked stuff in. Um, and I didn't learn the rest of the story until 30 years later, but I'm tired for tonight, so I'll tell you the rest some other point. And I guess Shift had taken her to him because he wants her to remember the story, because however it works with Shift's cycle, what kind of cycle, he goes along for a while, and then he forgets everything and goes back to being like a child, and then kind of rekindles again. And he gets the people that he's taken, or someone like um Taryn, who he's not technically taken but is kind of adopted a part of his thing to remember stuff for him, so they can tell him the stories. He forgets all his past. He does, know how to tie his shoes and how to do various things, kind of the process kind of stuff, but he doesn't remember. He doesn't have the memories anymore of stuff. So that's why therefore. And indeed, Jane says she's, no, not Jane, not Schiff, but the witch says, like, I'll nurse him like a boy, I'll nurse him like a baby again, a child, and raise him again when it comes to that. But it turns out that the Shay and the Hell have been having this ongoing battle back and forth, and the Shay kind of had made this deal that, like, they would give him so many 5 human souls for every Shay, to keep him out of hell. But they're send the taken after 200 years. There's a purge. I don't know if it's just naturally that's as long as they can hold them out, but then they're given over to hell, in exchange for the continued existence of the Shay. But sorry, trying to pull rocks out of little Havanese jaws. But they've, like, the Shay are kind of faltering, and the thing is that the Hell has said, if you give us Shift, we'll give you like 100,000 years. And the thing is, they can't actually make Shift do that. They're not powerful enough. Shift is too powerful, even though he always comes across as slight and uncertain and stuff like that. He's actually too powerful to do that, but they're hoping they can kind of guilt him into it. They can make him sacrifice himself to do it. This is what Taryn is told by Sid. What's her name? Sid. I think she's the witch from the story. So yeah, that's sort of what we've gotten so far. It's sort of gone off. It's veered off into the fairy folk, and now as I've just left the story at like 44%, Taryn's come back to this world where Shift and Sid have had a battle with a demon, which they were hoping to just lop his legs off and be able to arms and legs off and be able to question him. But he came through as kind of amorphous, 10-foot tall, great being, and Shift sort of took him through a gate or something, or kind of escaped through a gate with him, leaving Taryn and Sid here. So I guess we'll see how that goes. Sid. I'm saying Sid at the moment. I don't know. I can't remember her fucking name. Sith? I think it's that. Sith. So yeah, that's what I have so far of the Absolute book. I'm wondering if it's a little on the overlong side. We're at 44%, and I feel like the whole kind of travel into the fairy thing and hearing about Shift's story in great detail was necessary. I guess we'll see as we continue. Very well written, but yeah, there's maybe pacing issues. I don't know. Maybe there is, maybe there isn't. All right. Theo would like to go inside. Yes, that would be good. More videos later.